Good morning, everybody. All right, I am going to grab a coffee. I will be right back, and we're going to get down to it today. There's some crazy runners pre-market that are low float Chinese stocks, so we'll take a look at a little bit of that today. A new episode of Slap That Ask is out, so I need to update that command. So you guys are getting the latest episode. Do 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 do. And I gotta do this and this and this. Good morning. Okay, and then here and check commands and slap. What's up? What's up? What's up? Okay, I think that should be updated now. Latest episode, guys. If you haven't heard it, rated it, reviewed it, do that for me, please. Head on over there right now. Click that open. Give us that thumbs up, 5-star review on the podcast. This week's episode, we are breaking down SPACs and IPOs for you. So, SPACs and IPOs, there's been plenty of them through 2020. We talk about the ones that have been, the ones that will be, and whether or not we see this insanity continuing in, excuse me, into 2021. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go grab a coffee. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Coffee, coffee, coffee. Okay. No Coke. No Coke. Those days are long gone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, let's get the Marbies up here. We'll do the disclaimer right now, guys. I'm not a professional. Look at me. I'm a bum in an office with comic books, right? Don't follow, or don't, you can follow me. Keats, thanks for the follow. don't, don't shadow trade. Don't do any of that crap. Make your own decisions. This is to teach you how to make your own decisions, not which decisions to make. So do your own due diligence. Make your own decisions. Be a grown ass adult. And with that said, let's get down to it. Okay, guys. Marbies are loading here. Today it is going to be, I'm taking a look at Sundial, EVK, going to be watching HEXO. Both of those are on the More Act vote that looks like it's going to be dropping Friday, so seeing what movement's there. We'll probably look to take an entry on Fuel Cell given the sharp decline it had on its offering, but we'll get into all of that goodness. As soon as we run the Daily Marbles game, remember, guys, if you win, you pick the stock that we watch as the market opens. So that's that. Let's crack this open. As always, guys, I will be playing against you. Enox presentation is today. Yay! So we'll see those puts play out. The shorts have long been awaiting this presentation. We will be watching that for sure. The Enox fraud is upon us, ladies and gentlemen. We will see. Is it actually a fraud? Is it something else? We will know by the end of today. Remember, my forecast on this is that they show up, it doesn't work, but they blame X, Y, or Z. The machine itself works, but it wasn't their fault. Crackajack, how you doing? Welcome, 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 guys. If you're new here, let me know how you found the stream. If you've been here a while, guys, make sure you're sharing this out to your social networks, letting people know this is where you're hanging out as the market opens today. With that being said, you got about 10 seconds to get in on this. So if it's legit, it will change the game forever, and I will be the biggest bull you've ever seen on Enox. If they can actually produce an X-ray machine at that price, but we will see. All right, round and round we go. Where we stop, nobody knows. Also waiting with anticipation. You didn't type play. In the tube. We're in the tube. Triton coming out. He wants it today. Triton wants it. We're also watching for Trump to back down on his national defense halt with the Section 230 news. Triton gets the boost from the paddles instead of getting caught up in it. Looking to set an all-time record on this. Hopefully he doesn't get cucked here. No, he makes it through. Is he going to get cucked? He makes it through that too. Triton is a champ today. Taking no prisoners. Nobody else is even close. I'm worried that people are about to get knocked off the map here with these things. Boost. Yeah, boost. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Round and round. Saki, what time is the Enox presentation again? I thought it was in the morning. $11:30? Okay. I will try to kick around then until 11:30. I may actually have to hop off for a business call. Triton takes it, ladies and gentlemen. Like a champ. Never in doubt. In first from go. Yeah, the investor webinar I don't care about. The demo is everything. The demo is absolutely everything. Triton, what do you got, man? What do you want us to watch? Okay, Piton. No problem. We can watch Piton. Using a new tool with the video, guys, how is this doing for video? Is this crisper, smoother, sexier? Like, what are we looking at? EVK is a low float pump and dump from China. I mean, we'll watch whatever you want, man. It's up to you. Piton works for me, though. Okay, good. Good. Yeah, I mean, this is low float nation, right? Like that's what that crap does. So I am positive on SNDL, but not HEXO. ALNA, I took a position in yesterday, guys. You'll see I'm trying to spread out the wealth a little bit here. taking gains across a variety of different things. I do like ALNA. Their offering should close tomorrow. We should see that recovers. Wrong screen. Bum, bum, bum. This is where I need one of those boards with the buttons, right? This. All right. Or to map my number lock, I guess, to the different screens. Wonder how easy that is to set up. Settings, hotkeys. Apply. Make this one 2. Apply. Okay, let's see what that does. Ah, look at that. I did it. Okay, and let's open up the options portfolio here. Am I still in LPL? Guys, you can always check my latest portfolio stuff. Voila. The moves I have made in and out. Thoughts on LGC? I'll take a look. Just let me two-factor authentication on this options portfolio here. All right, so we've got Peloton up there, guys. No, that's not selecting here. Okay, and voila. These leaps are doing well. Will SNDL be delisted next week? I don't know. I'll be out of it by Friday. Okay, let's see here. You want me to take a look at where was that? SL. What was it? I saw something. What are your thoughts on IGC? India Globalization Capital. Okay, so it does construction and pot. I don't like it. I like pick one. I like make 2 different companies. I'm not a fan. Pick one. Um. Nice, man. Nice. So numbers are in for November. The average tip ranks portfolio brought in 17.5%. The best performing tip ranks portfolios gained 15%. The S&P gained 10.8%. I pulled in 38.25% on the month. So new month, new gains to make. Let's see how we do. Market's about to open here. CC calls for holiday spending. I've got them for January of 2022. CCL, American Airlines, Wells Fargo, and the Gap. I like PayPal better than credit cards. Sauna time. Nice. Yeah, no, credit cards, I like PayPal better. PayPal and Square better than credit cards. No problemo. Okay, this goes away. This comes up. Okay, this is gonna work. This is gonna work. This new thing. Hopefully, I won't forget as much. And if I do, you guys can just pipe up in chat there, and I'll switch it over. Visa said they would do Bitcoin rewards. Well, I mean, they got to do something. All right, markets are open, ladies and gentlemen. Out the gate, I am up $200. Yay! ALNA coming right back up. Still green there. Waiter, DGLY are both profitable now. ACRX is the big drag here. But again, national defense funding comes in, army contracts come in, it goes back up to $2. So I'm okay with that. But Waiter's doing quite well here. 363. I think we see it go to $2. Actually, I did want to get into. Need to tidy up this list a little bit today, I think. Fuel cell. Hmm, hmm. Hello, Creative Ollie. How you doing, man? Okay, Peloton out the gate is. Maybe I'll set this bid for 8. Let's see if it'll come down and grab it. All right, Peloton's looking decent at the gate here. Checking the watch list. Fuel Cell's up 9. Palantir's up 6. American Airlines is up. Enox is up. Enox is the big one to watch today, guys. It does have its demo today, so be prepped on that. Mara's up a little bit too. As the dollar declines, guys, remember, as the dollar declines, you can expect to see Bitcoin rise. And when Bitcoin rises, Mara and Riot go with, right? So just be prepped for that. SPY is still just gunning, like gunning. All-time highs? Not quite. Getting there, though. Getting there. AMC is coming down nicely. I've got the 250 puts. So it's got to fall pretty hard, but no, it's not available. I mean I could check on YouTube for it. See if anybody has the presentation. I think the shorts will be all over that today. I'm not nervous about the puts. Now I did take a put on that on Enox, but it was only what I was willing to burn to say goodbye to, right? So I spent like $30. So if it doesn't go down to 13, 15, oh well, whatever. Now, one of the things that you can count on, crypto, I don't know what your strike was, but one of the things that you can count on is the okay, so $50. Okay, so that's not so bad because what we have is buy the rumor, sell the news, right? So this could still see profit taking drive it down towards your strike, maybe not into strike, but down to your strike. In which case you could still end up profitable even if this is a thing. Now I'm not saying that for certain. I don't know that for certain, but today is definitely a testing the waters day for Enox. We will see what we will see. Did this fuel cell ever come down? Yeah, it clearly did. Uh, Interestingly, it got filled at 810, even though I put in a limit at 8. That's interesting. Um, okay, whatever. Go to tip ranks here. Okay, so that's updated. Into DoorDash next week. I just think that Waiter has so much room to run. Same thing with DGLY here as we head into the Biden administration. These ones are holds into the inauguration in January, I think, for me. Waiter and DGLY. Um, ACRX, this is military contract, but I could hold this. This could be a long hold. Uh, it could just sit in my portfolio. Sundial's just floating the 75 mark, so we'll see what that does. HEXO is down to 113. I'm okay with that. Again, the more active vote on Friday, I think that that's where we see these pot stocks buy up. Peloton is flirting with that 115 line, but not really driving too hard past it. It looks like a solid level. Waiter's based in the south. Um, so with lockdown measures, they're all through the southern states, and then they've got some up here as well with Bite Squad. So, um, yeah, that's just it. There may be a federal lockdown, but there's also so if you look at businesses right now, Louisiana has some of their restaurants closed. Right, you do have masks, but the other thing that we're looking at as far as new cases is, um, let's go to the John Hopkins here. Go to the John Hopkins coronavirus map, U.S. map, new cases. So Miami is a new case hotbed. Dallas, Houston, Atlanta. Obviously, LA is having a massive outbreak into New Mexico as well. So these are here. LA doesn't really affect Waiter, but New Mexico could. Um, yeah, Houston, Dallas is a big deal. I think Texas we start to see. The other thing, guys, that not a lot of people are talking about is the hospital beds. I'd be happy to see it go towards 8 to 10. I think if there's a DoorDash buyout offer that we see that now, Waiter out of all of them, again, DoorDash isn't profitable. Again, out of the last four earnings reports, they've only had one where they've shown a profit. They've turned a profit over the quarter. Uber has yet to be profitable. Waiter, quarter after quarter after quarter, while it may be missing on its revenue or whatever the egregious analyst estimate is, Waiter continues to produce revenue that is to the positive, right? So they're EBITDA positive, earnings after earnings after earnings after earnings, and they continue to move into that. And their expansion strategy is they don't expand into every community. They're only expanding into communities where they are seeing out of positive results. So if they're seeing profitable results out of a new area, they move into that area. Otherwise, they don't expand there. So that's kind of a big deal. Uh, I don't know that there's any substance to it, but I like Waiter regardless of the buyout. The buyout is just a nitro boost to the stock getting to that 8 to 10 mark. I think if it continues to produce results over the next two quarters, it could head there on its own. Um, that's kind of my thought process on Waiter and where that's at. Um, Again, guys, I'm going to open up the notepad here. If you have tickers that you want me to take a look at, I'm more than happy to take a look at them, do a breakdown. I do them in order unless you spend channel points. If you spend your Canuck bucks, your ticker gets propped to the top. Will Sundial touch $1 today? I don't know about today. Maybe towards end of market we see a bit of a buy up because the Moores Act is going to be voted on tomorrow. I don't know if it goes to $1 today. Um, a lot of volume on it again today, though. 111 million on it just today. Um, Look at best. Okay. Best. BST. That's a no for me. SaaS-based application out of Hangzhou, China. Yeah, I'm out. I'm out. Yeah. Best Bad guys, they're gonna have a killer Q4. They really are. How is SNDL? It looks like it's doing fine. I mean, it should be around that 75 mark, right? 73, 75. Where are we? 74? Yeah. I mean, it's TNDM at these prices. T Rent 10, thanks for the follow, man. Much appreciated. How did you find it, sir? Tandem diabetes. Ooh. Okay, so my caution with tandem diabetes is this, guys. Over the next 9 to 12 months, it looks like we could be seeing gene therapies that are going to result in. Oh, no, you found me through Martini. That's good to know. Martini's good people. You have to be cautious with diabetes because it looks like there may be a genetic treatment or cure for type 1 and type 2 diabetes. So if you're playing this in a short term play, great. But if you're not, if you're looking to play this long, we're talking a year, 2 years, 5 years, I'm not a fan of diabetes treatment. I think that we see diabetes disappear. Um, I think that there will be a genetic cure. 9 to 12 months. Oh, and stocky too. Sweet. Yep, good peeps all around. Yeah, it did have a dip, definitely. I mean, there's the fall in March down to 49. It ran all the way back up to the peak was just shy of 125. Yeah, I think 100 would be reasonable. 115 we'll see, but I think 100 would be reasonable for sure. Lizzie, is this going to be a China stock too? I feel like it is. Yeah. My thoughts are I don't touch it. Podcast and audio entertainment products. No, I don't like it. Too fraudulent, too easy to be fraudulent with, right? Because the reality is the number that you're looking for with podcasts and is the listener base because that's what drives their ad dollars. However, listener bases can be so fraudulent without proper auditing, and nobody is auditing this Chinese company. So I would stay, in my opinion, I wouldn't go near this. Any thoughts on SWBI? Let's check it. SWBI, Smith and Wesson. Guns are good. That's my thought. Um, I don't think it's overvalued. I think this stock should be up around 20. Um, SBE. I think the market is at the point with EVs that they are oversaturated. Um, yeah, I think they're oversaturated. I'm not a fan. Docu DocuSign. 250 I think is reasonable on DocuSign. As we move to more and more of a remote workplace, this becomes quite relevant. I agree. It might get the same reaction as Zoom. Yeah, it definitely is tied to that remote workplace. 250 I don't think is unreasonable here. I wouldn't go as high as 300, but 250 I would say is reasonable. And that's over 12 months, guys. So when I give you projections, it's over a 12 month. This is not in unless I say otherwise. If I tell you that it's going to be a week from now or whatever, then that's one thing. But ASPS, they profit off foreclosures with the moratorium ending to go to all-time highs around 100. They're like $13 right now. Integrated service provider marketplace for the real estate and mortgage industries. It provides property preservation inspection services, including vendor management, marketplace transaction management, payment management, vendor management. Company also offers Hubzu, an online real estate auction platform, as well as real estate auction brokerage asset management services. Based out of Europe. March they fell to around $7. They've recovered, but they're still not all the way recovered. I actually I like this. Does this have options? ASPS. Does have options, not a lot of volume on them. Yeah, that ask bid spread is bonkers. But for me, this is an indicator that people are aware that this has value. Um, So my fuel cell entry is now profitable. That's good to see. Happy with that. ALNA continues to make decent gains here. I wish I could make this bigger. I wish I could zoom this, but I can't zoom it. There's nothing really left in the Canadian portfolio right now. Waiter's coming back down. Pot stocks are back down on the day. As long as this is floating that 75 area, I'm okay with Sundial. Palantir is going back up. I did see that. I kind of want SHG to just calm down a little bit here. I'd like it to come back down here. I would like to get back into it, but I don't want to get back into it at 83, 85. I want it to come down. Mara's doing well. They're up a little bit today. I think we see Bitcoin continue to. Is there BTC? Bitcoin. Okay, they've got Bitcoin at 18.8 here. But that's the index. So let's see where Bitcoin actually is right now. What's the thought process and price target for fuel cell? I would say $10. Thought process is Kamala Harris is based out of California. They're pro green energy. Yeah, Kamala Harris's push for California, as well as the. You have Baby F? I don't have Baby F. I don't know what Baby F is. My Canadian portfolio I only really use for BlackBerry and occasionally something else that might pop up, but I don't really like trading the Canadian market. So, yeah, I would just play Beyond. Yeah, crowd's doing all right. It's up 15% today. That's not bad. The scanner here, guys, this is unusual volume. This is the most active stocks. So you'll see SNDL is at the top here with 76, 130 million traded. Then Naked, Zomedica, China Pharmaceutical, Northern Dynasty, HEXO. So there's HEXO and SNDL with high volume numbers. HEXO typically trading 3 million a day. It's up to 14 million already. These are the biggest losers on the day here, guys. SBLK down 24%, LE down 20%. Why I like to have this, guys, is I like to gauge for potential reversals on that list. So I'm going to grab water here, guys. I'll be 2 seconds. I'll be right back. If you guys have tickers you want me to take a look at, throw them in chat. I will make a point to go in and look at them and break them down for you. We do have the Enox event at 11:30 today. I will be watching Twitter very, very closely for any news on Enox. I'll show you guys the Talkwalker tool that I'm going to be using to gauge social inputs on Enox today, see what kind of sentiment is on that. And yeah, we'll do that all when I get back. My thoughts on CBII are that it continues to run. SHG and CBII are the same thing. So yeah, with SHG, guys, I am thinking that it is going to continue to run. I am actually tempted to take. You know what? Screw it. I'm not so sold on DGLY here, so I'm gonna exit 2/3 of this position. And then I'm gonna buy into this at. See if I can get it to come down. And I'll take 5,000 of this. DGLY. Not really. He's been bullish on it for a while. I don't play Tesla. I'd probably. Ooh, big pancake fan with that sweet tier 1 sub. Thank you for that. Much appreciated. Am I still holding Hill? No, I got it on a profit. Ooh, big pancake fan. Got that beaver. Got that beaver. Okay, let's see if SHG is going to come down and grab me at 80. It doesn't seem to be moving. Let's try. Whatever. I'll go 83. Let's see. That's where I want it. I'm okay with SNDL at 75. It's waiting on the more fund. It's waiting on the more fund. On the more act to be passed. Um, what is this? Oh, because you're in Oregon. My issue with this is that the fund is tied to. I could go to 1, Nigel. I don't know that it goes to 1, but that's tomorrow. The pot stocks will move Friday on the more news. It might go to 1, it might not. Yeah, the problem that I've got with Oregon is, and I mean, I used to live there. My problem is that this is tied to their infrastructure, and their infrastructure is horse shit. Yeah, I lived south. I lived in the Medford, Grants Pass, Central Point area of Oregon, not the north side. Okay, I do want to see. I mean, I don't know that there's concern about anything with Biden because everybody's still concerned with Trump. But I think that there's the time is coming. Okay. Austin mayor urges residents to stay home. He shot his video from Cabo. He was in Mexico when he shot this. Yikes. These guys. These guys playing with me over on SHG. We want you to come up to 85. No, I came up to 83. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this back down to 81 because you're being a douchebag. Oh, they did give it to me at 83. Okay, never mind. Shut my mouth. They did fill me at 83. And I'm up $90 already. Sweet. Sweet! So that's CBII, guys. That's SHG. Hopefully it's showing up in here now. It is not. So CBII. Done. Okay, and then CBII. Where is it? I don't see it here. I just picked it. CBII. Yeah, that one. Done. Go drunk, you're home. Go drunk, you're home. Whatever, I'll do this. Okay. And then, so I got it at 83 CAD to USD. 64.3. What is it at CBIIF? 64. Yeah, my opinion on refresh the page. Yeah, I tried that. It didn't do anything. Airbnb I'm bearish on. I really don't like. They're currently operating with 25% of their homes not available. As well, we're going into additional lockdowns and increased travel advisories. So I am very bearish on Airbnb. I'm not a big fan. Yeah, I mean, I actually read through that with Martini, and I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see it. That's just me. There are a lot of people that really like it, and I understand that, and that's all well and good. However, for me, that just ain't so. Okay, seriously, what the heck? TSC, SHG. It's not here at all. When I pick CBAI, it doesn't show up. No, for the first week, I think you're going to see the typical IPO hype. I think you'll see the typical IPO hype on it. You'll see profit takers at the gate, and then you'll see people buy the thing up. Probably ends up around 50. And then from there, it'll come down over the next 2 months, 3 months. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at on it. Out of the gate, if you're playing it, get a decent entry on it the day of. Okay, I could see a potential play there. But ultimately, for me, it's It's something I'll probably be staying away from. What's this do? Oh, I can't do that. Bum, 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 bum. That's so bright. That's black and white. I'm feeling very negative today about the market. I don't know what this one is. I think that's just normal, right? I don't see any special filter on that. Feeling blue. Got a big head. This is bad. They've got toys for me to play with on this. This is bad. Very bad. Okay. Huge blue 5 head. Yeah. Okay. So now that I'm done being distracted with that, let's go back to the market. Okay, I can delete this. So what is of note here, guys, is you'll see CBIIF, right? Have I invested in big pharma? Yeah. Well, I mean, big pharma. What do you consider big pharma? Merck, BMY. Yep. Merck and BMY I've invested in the past. AstraZeneca I have options on right now. So we got 85 calls on AstraZeneca for January. These BABA calls are making money already for February. Amgen is one of those stocks like Biogen, Amgen, all of those are what I would consider safe plays in bio. So Amgen and BIIB. These are what I would call safe plays in bio. On the basis that they're really solid. They're going to perform.
Morning, Millennium.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Yeah, just listen to the podcast.
And how'd we do?
Do you want my fanboy comments or constructive criticism?
Both.
Okay, fanboy, very good.
Good.
Constructive criticism,
Yep.
good. I tend to focus on production quality stuff.
Yeah.
So that was more of what it was. Just like Rita's audio, she's got echo issues. There's very little she can do without buying stuff. There was some spots, I think, during editing, some massive noise pollution that happened, which I can talk to Exiled and Web over, and AJ. And Redemption's audio was much better this time.
Yeah, I'm gonna optimize my audio on the next recording as well before I send it to AJ.
Yours sounded good, and AJ just still new with Premiere. He doesn't know how to. I don't think he understands how to modify voice tracks yet in Premiere correctly.
Okay.
Because you can add filters to voice tracks to deepen somebody or to get rid of white noise, things like that. But
yeah, I typically just run podcast voice over it because it does like the majority of the work.
It's a pre-built filter that will do stuff like that.
Yeah.
But and I speak from having to do these things as for a company presenting material for sales. So that's where I'm coming from. The other thing is safe words. You already see you're laughing. You already know any presenter knows what a safe word or safe sound. I have them. Everyone has them. Exactly. It's pauses for your brain to catch up to what you're trying to say or process thought. The problem is we very seldomly know how to shut our mouth.
Yeah,
I
and on a
almost just
podcast,
did.
you're looking to fill the blank, right? You don't really want there to be dead noise, so a lot of people just feel the need to keep speaking for sure. And I definitely
It's a
have those.
psychology thing.
Yeah, I have those for
It's
sure.
everyone does. Everyone does until you put a presenter hat on, until you try to catch it, right? When you're on stage, a lot of times that blank pause that you have is okay because you have a visual on you. But when you're on a podcast like this, you're right. There's a challenge to keep that blank. And then the problem is, in there, does the next person interject during that blank pause?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It becomes a timing thing.
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
and then it's episode 2. I think that we're at a decent place with it. I think
Oh,
as the
from the
group
first
gets to
one?
yeah, I think as the group gets to know each other a little bit better, as far as specifically the podcasting goes, it's going to go well. For those of you guys that don't know what the heck we're talking about,
Sorry, I forgot you're on stream. My bad.
no, it's good. The latest episode. So slap that ask, Martini Rita, myself, Exiled, Redemption. There's that safe word. What
It's gonna
streaming's
happen.
terrible for it because it's a much longer spread. If I was doing a prepared conference, I would not have safe words in it, but this is not that event. This is me relaxed on stream, so safe words are going to be there. But this is the latest episode, guys. We're going to do weekly episodes. We record them on the Monday and have them ready for you guys on Wednesday. I'm not typically around Wednesday. I hate Wednesdays. So what I do instead is we get this podcast out to you guys. The episode's there. This week we were talking about SPACs and IPOs, the massive amount of them that we had through 2020, and whether that we see that trend continuing into 2021. However, we also have last week's episode, which was on Bitcoin and Christmas and the Airbnb IPO. So both of those are there. They're there for you guys to listen to, enjoy. If you guys do listen to them, we are loving the feedback. So if you guys want to hop into Discord, there is a channel on the Discord specifically for podcasts. We'd love to hear your feedback. If you guys are loving it and can share it from the platform onto social or to give it a rating or a review wherever you're listening to it, that also goes a long way in helping us spread some awareness around it. So huge ups to all you guys that have listened to it. We do appreciate the feedback, both fanboy and girl and fan person, and any critical feedback that you have as well of like the lighting was too bright or whatever else. This does imply that this presentation will be live streamed. Concept device for educational purposes only.
Oop, Sundial's getting some love right now.
I'm not seeing that love.
It just jumped in the last, let's see, 10 minutes from 75 to 81.
I guess I'm up 150 bucks. No, that's not bad.
On a shit stock, yeah. The other interesting thing, Millennial, to pay attention here is they just opened up weeklies on
Yeah,
Sundial.
I heard you saying that. I wouldn't go anywhere near those.
Oh, if I'm selling them, absolutely.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The problem is I'm locked in on my covered calls until April and July. So I either walk out now and take a big, massive loss, but what it does is for those on stream who don't know, I entered Sundial, a month ago when it was at 27 cents. So I'm sitting prime and fat and pretty on my profits here, but I'm also in covered calls for insurance, which means I'm locked up. I can't sell the shares. But if I buy the calls back, I'm screwed. I'm taking a massive loss on those.
Yeah.
But so for me, the ride up, I will gain more and more profit. On the ride down, I will still secure my 50% position profit. So no matter how I look at this, I'm pretty much green. I just need to be patient and hope for that it doesn't get delisted. It doesn't get OTC'd. and so forth. So
Yeah, by Friday, for me, it's like it's in and out by Friday. So if it
oh,
doesn't happen,
you're definitely the Momo play, and it was a smart decision. I I'll be 100% transparent. When I took the SNDL play, one, I didn't know it was a weed stock. Two, I didn't even know what it was. All I did was a correlation to stock price versus option price. And I saw I could buy a butt ton of shares and sell a large amount of contracts. And at worst, I would have to see that share price drop 50% for me to break even. And for those who know covered calls and such, that is a large cost basis decretion. Um, so that's why I took it. And then I realized it was a weed stock. So, and I didn't even know about the vote or none of that stuff. Great DD on my part. It was a pure math play.
I mean, there are technical plays for sure. I look at what was it earlier today? EVK. I don't see it here. It probably got halted. Um, but EVK this morning, no news, no insider buying, none of that crap. Right? It's up 134%. It's purely a math play. It's a technical play. They saw an ultra low float that was picking up volume. Everybody jumped on. It's up 136%. Like,
It was like the cycle of Chinese education stocks
yeah,
a few months ago,
yeah.
right? Just they're low float, so people jump in and go.
Do I think Piton has the momentum to keep going? So Piton is a great play into late Q1 of next year. And the reason why I say that is you get two things happening, right? Three things happening. There's this new layaway thing that's happening with PayPal and Square and Affirm that allows people to buy major purchases like a Peloton on layaway without a credit approval, really. So I think Peloton wins on that. You also have the Christmas season where people that were waiting to make a big purchase now have the excuse to make a big purchase. So Peloton is in the works there. You also have New Year, New You, right? You have the people that want to get fit in January and as of January. That fatty Christmas that you put on, you've had your turkey and your Baileys and your coffee every day and your big Christmas feast and all the chocolate and crap that you put in. January hits and everybody wants to get fit, right? So Peloton does quite well through Q4 into Q1. I think the Q4 earnings that drop in Q1 are going to drive Peloton. I don't see why 125 on Peloton heading into March or April would be impossible. I don't know what your play on is, whether it's the options long option or if you're looking at equity. But equity, I think, is a pretty solid hold on Peloton into the 150 range. But that would be holding it for a year to 2 years. It's going to definitely have that seasonal play of around August or June. You'll see a decline because in the summer people can go outside and do that shit. But I think as you get in around August, it'll build seasonality into December, January, February. Um, yeah, I think that's probably the right call. Yeah, equity swing. So for me, if you're gonna play this equity, the entry on this would probably be end of summer, so August, September. Get it on the low and then hold it into their Q4 earnings. That would be the seasonality I see on it. Redemption could probably give you a little bit more as far as specifics goes, but we will see what we will see. Lemonade. This is this lending ticker, right?
No, it's insurance, I think. Lemonade is, I think,
Let's
it's
see.
like,
Yeah, insurance products.
yep. It's basically the millennial version, Gen Z's version of insurance.
Okay, so with Lemonade, guys, here's what I would do with this. This would be a seasonal play, so I would get into Lemonade just before fire season or hurricane season. So typically, I've got an ETF built for that, I think. I'll add it to it. Where's the fire one? Fires. I'll add Lemonade in here. Okay, so its insurance products cover stolen or damaged property and personal liability that protects its customers so they're responsible for an accident or damage to another person or property. The company also offers landlord insurance policies to condo and co-op owners who rent out their property to protect their real and personal properties. So what I would look for is largest lease renewals US. Month. So November to March is when lease renewals happen. So you would want to probably look at an entry on this. If you're playing the landlord side of it, you would want to look at an entry sometime in September, October. Uh, does that align with fires? Entry April, exit September. So no, it doesn't. What's kind of interesting with this then though is if you're saying that you can play this both ways of damages as well as landlord insurance, you could enter in April, exit in September, or exit towards September on the run up on fires and hurricanes, and then look for a re-entry in September, October for the upcoming November through January of new leases. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing proprietary about what Lemonade does, which doesn't really have me filled with confidence.
No, it's more of just a e-insurance, completely 100% digital platform,
Yeah.
similar to what is Allstate's spinoff. Um, Allstate had a spinoff that's 100% electronic. I can't think of it right now, but that would be the one reason you would say, okay, um, I would like to go into Lemonade. But for the most part, you're right. Right, market share. It's just like any other insurance company. Every insurance company offers natural disaster insurance. Every one of them offers rental property. I mean, in my little small insurance company that I have, I've got all of those things. Now, I will tell you, their methods and their procedures are all archaic. Why do we still get paper insurance cards mailed to us in the mail? Why don't I have the option to just tell them give me electronic only?
Yeah, I,
That
I
kind of
don't.
stuff. Yeah, I don't either. It's mandatory. They must mail it, and then I can print it off if I want to. But I don't have an option to opt in or opt out, which is cost on the organization to begin with.
Holy hell, look at the cost of these options on Enox. This is gross. Oh, you guys can't see this
Um,
drop down menu, can you? Shoot. Um,
no, one thing. Sorry, millennial. I was going to address the police officer scenario with insurance cards.
yeah, go.
You do not need to require to show them a paper copy of your insurance. You can show them an electronic copy on your phone. Insurance companies have the ability, especially with Apple and Google, to have technology to allow it to add it to your wallet as a card. So you don't have to. They can, through their system, when they go back to the computer,
Yeah,
verify
they
your
just run the
insurance is
number.
active. Exactly. They just need that number. So they'll write it down. They'll go back to their car. They'll verify you have insurance. And then if you don't, well, doesn't matter what you have on your phone, doesn't matter what you have on a piece of paper. Sorry, you're getting a failure to maintain financial responsibility, FMFR. So
I'm not one of those guys that's ever been paranoid about a cop taking my phone. Go nuts, bud. There's nothing on there that you want.
I've got nothing to hide on top of that, but they're not
Yeah.
going to take your phone. That's the misnomer. They're going to write down the information, company, phone number. Just like when you go to a doctor's office and you call them about insurance, they want to know the company, the phone number, and your plan ID. That's it. Same thing with an insurance card.
And when they run it, guys, you're not going to spoof it. It's going to show your name attached to that profile when they run it. When they run that.
I'm sorry, when they pull you over, there's no privacy anymore.
Yeah.
They know who you are. They know where you live. They know which vehicle was registered. I'm going to tell you guys, I forgot which company it is. If you try to go get an insurance quote, I think Progressive, and you just type in your home address, they're going to be able to know what vehicles you have at your address, the year, the make, the model, everything.
It's ICE that takes your phone. That's a whole different issue. We're not even touching that one.
I noticed I didn't say anything.
Yeah, no, the NOx options for the 90 strike, so to the positive, are friggin' $450 a pop right now. The puts to the downside are not so bad. I've got the 15s. I'm tempted to just grab another 15 here, actually. I'm tempted to grab another 15 here. Ugh, gross. 5-cent instra. Gross. You can't even fucking put in 6.
I mean, Cody, you're not wrong. There's bad seeds everywhere in every organization, no matter what. So it would be ignorant to ignore that fact. But I can tell you, as somebody with real experience being pulled over, I will say in triple digit times, and I've definitely got my share of tickets and warrants and KPS bonds and so forth. I would say 10 years ago, you could still show a police officer your phone for insurance. They will still verify it, and they will ask you to do that. But I've had a lot of experiences with police officers, and a lot of times, if you can comply, they're okay. But I'm not going to use that as a blanket statement. Just my personal experience.
Very nice chem life. NOx at 38. I don't know that you're going to hold it through. I don't play YOLOs. I can't really give you a YOLO. We're watching NOx today to see if it blows up and never exists again or not. Why the hell is this changing?
I was going to say, did you get the German version?
Sprechen Sie the English. Not the Dutch. Okay. Better. Okay. And let's search. NOx. Cody the Koopa. Chupa? Chupa or Koopa? What is it? Cody the Chupacabra? Cody the Koopacabra? Chupa.
It's Chupa. It's Chupacabra.
Yeah.
The mythical
Chihuahua
Mexican creature. Yeah. It's the down south version of the snipe.
I mean, you should be able to get out of your position before it completely torpedoes itself, right? But suffice it to say that the shorts are watching very closely. So the tool that you guys are looking at here, you guys probably don't have access to or can't get access to it. This is one of these digital marketing tools, guys. What it does is it's scanning the entire internet, social, video, photos, audio, all of it for NOx. And what you're seeing here is a general breakdown of what the sentiment is. Is it positive? Is it negative? What's wrong with NOx? Well, either they are complete frauds and the machine doesn't work and it's a scam, or they're the greatest revolutionary technology in X-ray ever. It's one or the other. So this thing is either going to run to the moon, it's going to be like a $300, $400 stock, or it's going to be complete dog shit. This tool here costs about 30 grand a year. You can have access for 30 grand a year.
Well, there's your scenario for your crippled strangle.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't afford the one side.
Let alone both.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
All right, guys. So here's the last 24 hours. So this is, this is the last 24 hours. So what we're seeing is a number of results that are popping specifically on this. I could probably put the company name in and see some other results compared to, what is this company even freaking called? What is Enox? Nanox? Nanox. Okay, I wish I could customize that color. Can. Like that gross green color. Okay, so here are the results, guys. What you'll see is the ticker itself. So this would be specifically traders that are using this. There's a lot more negative sentiment around this, but people that are just talking about the company, it is positive or neutral. So those talking about the ticker, there's very few people that are positive on the ticker, neutral on the ticker, and negative on the ticker. So neutral is they can't really assign one or the other. As far as speaking about Nanox specifically, what we're looking at is a lot of positive sentiment, some neutral, very little negative. So what we want to do here, guys, is I want to pop in here and take a look at the influencers. And go to the results. I can all but guarantee that I will be impressed by Enox's presentation. While that doesn't change the fact that it's extremely risky and doesn't have FDA approval yet alone, and I'll be happy to buy more after FDA approval. Okay. You're going to see a lot of Japanese on this. It is being supported by SK Telecom. So you are going to see that. Okay. The story behind ACRX is that they had an approved opioid. Then the FBI came out and said, we hate opioids. War on opioids is happening, and we're not a fan of opioids, which took the stock down. And then the U.S. military showed up and said, we do like it. Sony was the other company, the Japanese company. Sony, sorry. So the story behind ACRX is that the U.S. military is is better. Dasubi is better than fentanyl lollipops. But essentially, ACRX is an expansion into the army, and that was the positive news that I was initially trading ACRX on. But what happened through COVID, guys, is as COVID expanded, and the more people that were intubated, so anybody that's on a respirator or a ventilator, they require opioids to be able to stay on that ventilator. What happened was very quickly as the cases rose, and we know hospital beds are at a shortage. Well, opioids are also at a shortage. So the opioid shortage in the U.S. right now is obscene. It's very, very difficult for hospitals to get standard supplies of opioids, which leaves Dasuvia in a really solid place. So as if you think COVID is going to go back up in the case numbers over the next 3 to 4 months, we're already at an opioid shortage. What's going to happen if these cases continue to escalate over the winter is opioid shortage will be an understatement. And the reality is they won't have a choice but to buy Dasuvia. It's an approved opioid. They need opioids. They would have to use it. The other thing is they also have expanding sales teams. They've got their own sales team, but they also have two other companies, Lahola Pharmaceuticals and Zimmer Biomet, that are now selling the drug on their behalf. Zimmer Biomet is one of the largest resellers of pharmaceuticals in the US. They are massive. That they took this on is huge. So, yeah, that's a big one.
Can you tell them
AMTX.
can you tell them to stop going down in the short term just because I have a stop in place and I really don't want to get stopped out.
Move the stop. I don't know what to tell you. Uh,
Right. It was a 10% trailing stop loss. It went up 4%. And so now it's only a 6%. And here we are.
Yeah, I mean, I was down $6,000 on this at one point, so when I open it up and I see that I'm down two, it's like, meh, I don't care.
Oh no, this is I jumped into it very quick short term just because, and it won't pay off, but that's fine. Hopefully it will.
Yeah, I mean, for me, guys, ACRX into the end of the month is looking really solid. The national defense is going to go through. There's no way Trump doesn't, before he leaves office, sign this national defense thing. He's not. Is the last thing that he's going to do is not piss off the military. That doesn't
And
make
that's
any
the other thing
sense.
is military contracts a lot of times budget requirements end of year.
I am still bullish on IPIX, yeah, but we're waiting on their news Q4, end of Q4, early Q1. So, um, Enox, one day. Yeah, I mean, this is just people that are getting anxious about this, right? As you get closer to this thing happening, people are going to get anxious about it. HEXO's right where it should be. SNDL is still at 78. I'm profitable on it. I got nowhere to go. That's on the vote tomorrow. So this sell-off here, it could be a whole bunch of different things, guys, but ultimately people are starting to get a little nervous, a little sweaty-handed on this Enox thing. So let's see what Muddy Waters has to say. I'm sure that they've offered commentary today. Um, there's actually nothing here. Oh, here's Enox. So people are refuting Muddy Waters with this company. Do you have shares or options on Waiter? I think I might have both. No, I don't have Waiter options. No Waiter options. Just equity. But I got a crap ton of equity. I got about 13 grand in there. Not about. I do have 13 grand in there. Yeah, I mean, I just don't. I'm not chasing that COVID wagon anymore. It is what it is. Um, if fuel cell could go to $8 for me, I think I might get back out of that and just take the win on it. ALNA is doing well for me though. SHG is down a little bit, but I think that that's going to keep running to 115, 120-ish. You got bit by the COVID wagon? Ouch. I mean, Enox. Just gonna keep watching this. I mean, this is a. I know people aren't huge on the idea of like, well, go to Twitter. This is a huge deal. People saying long leaps. People adding equity. Conversations from radiologists. If they crush the demo and this is real, Enox could easily run up into the, I mean, over the next year, 200, 250 level. My breakdown of this is if I'm somebody that is bullish on Enox, that investor webinar that they've got this afternoon is a huge concern to me, right? You don't hold an investor webinar unless you're looking to explain something. Okay. If this thing works the way that they say it works, then the demo speaks for itself. You don't need to hold an investor webinar. That they're holding an investor webinar at 2 p.m. for me is, at least psychologically, what makes sense to me is they are already planning for something not to work or to go wrong, and they will need to explain themselves at an investor webinar. Oh, this isn't quite ready because XYZ, yada, yada, yada. The machine works. We just weren't prepped with this aspect of it. So, what we were able to show today is just a fraction of what this machine will be capable of down the road. And they kick the can, right? The other thing that you can expect to see, I think, in the next 2 to 3 weeks is in order to finish production on this, we're not going to see any new investors if this thing doesn't blow people out of the water today. So expect to see an offering drop sometime in the next 2 to 3 weeks as well, so they can capitalize on the high share price at the moment, get the funds that they need to finish production on whatever this machine can do, and go from there. The images will be everything. If the images are not high quality images, it's going to do nothing for them. They revised the time back another 30 minutes. So already we're seeing news of complications then. Things aren't working the way that they had hoped that they would be working. If the MORAC passes House, would you sit on it until it hits Senate? No. No. The Senate will not pass it.
No.
Yeah, no. A Republican Senate will not pass the MORE Act. As it currently stands, there's no way.
What I would think would need to happen is it's buy the rumor, sell the news. So sell the news that it passes the House.
Yeah.
Wait, if this is what you want to do long term, wait for re-entry to see when Senate will vote on it, because you're still waiting on the Georgia runoff to determine if it's a red or blue Senate. And on top of that, if they're not looking to pass it until after Biden is in office, maybe that's a play, because then you have some chance that Senate will pass it.
There is no way that they take both of the Georgia seats, and that's what they need to have to control the Senate. Because that will put them out of time.
I'm just painting a picture of, of if you were going to take this play and you really believe in it, this is what you need to understand that's in play. Yeah. Could we see a progressive Senate pass it, possibly for taxation? But I would honestly see, if that was going to happen, they would send it back to the House to rewrite the bill, because the 8% taxation is, and you heard it yesterday, is the lowest sin tax out of all of them.
Yeah, so out of things like booze, tobacco, the adult industry, taxation on those has something that's called the sin tax, guys. This thing has nothing on it, 8%. And what we're seeing out of, I'll tell you what we saw up in Canada, because this was supposed to be the economy saver, legalizing pot, right? Because the taxation was going to bring in hundreds of billions of dollars. 70% of the market. So that's not 70% of Canada. That's 70% of people that use pot still are not buying it from the government. They are growing it themselves, or they continue to purchase from their dealer. That's what's happening. That anybody thinks that's going to be different in the States is batshit crazy. It will not be a massive tax boost to the economy. The only thing that I could see really driving value for pot would be an international commodity. But you would have to do a whole lot of legislation in order to make that a commodity that you could trade internationally, because every port that it touches is going to have to be pro-pot. Otherwise, you're shipping drugs internationally, right? So, do I think that's possible? Yes,
was
you
a
could.
UN vote on it too, right?
Well, the WHO has said that it's not a high concern narcotic. It's not cocaine. We don't have to worry about pot the same way. That was the WHO. But that's
right,
not that's not enough. We're talking about international trade. Like WTO is who we need to hear from.
So the UN Commission yesterday also reclassified it, no longer considered risky narcotic too. So you're seeing those doors open globally too. The UN has said, okay, we recognize this as not a class 1 substance, basically.
Yeah, so most of the major places that you would look to be opening up to pot would be Germany, France, UK. France has some of the strictest control laws in the developed world. And I'm not talking the places that kill you for having pot, but France is very much anti-pot. The UK is indifferent about it. It's not a priority for them right now. So if you're going to have international trade, Israel, Egypt, Holland, US, Canada. That's what you're looking at. That's the market. But that would have to be the US has to realize that it would be more of a purchaser of pot and less of a seller. Other countries are not going to buy. Canada doesn't want US pot. And that's not a bravado thing. That's just, we've got more pot than we know what to do. We're not going to buy pot in the States. Yeah, it would be. It would be a lot more profitable if they let private stores open and changed how they're currently managing it. The issue is that's never going to happen because the government in Ontario wants control over everything. I do like the Morax principle of letting this be negotiated at the state level. I think that's a great idea. Uvnik, thanks for the follow, man. How did you find the channel? Would love to know how you guys are finding the channel. I mean, to each their own. To each their own. The pot grown in Canada is some of the best in the world, if not the best in the world. Um, I've had
I
the
think that
pot.
actually came up as I think that came up as an argument that the THC levels have increased.
I've had the pot in Oregon. I've had the pot in Canada. I prefer the pot in Canada. Yeah.
It's laced with maple. No wonder.
um, yeah. Yeah, man. What's the point of being here and hanging out with you guys if I'm not going to answer your comments? And I mean, Snowflake, that's part of it, right? So part of the problem is there is a recommendation from Stockeye. Okay, sweet, awesome. No problemo. Yeah, so that's part of the other thing is like each country that has their legal cannabis is also very proud of their cannabis, right? Um, they don't want to go to another country. Canada's strong, right? We got a maple leaf on our flag. What the fuck do Americans know about pot? Like the leaf on the flag thing, right? The Dutch are the same thing. The Dutch have no interest in American weed. Um, yeah, even if the U.S. had been a leader in the industry, they'd been the first to legalize. I think you still run into the issue of nationalism, where countries like it homegrown. They like their own pot. Europe.
I mean, it's not like it's corn or wheat or anything like that.
Yeah.
It is. You still have this. You mentioned it earlier. The border laws on how different countries perceive drugs. It's not like people like, oh, you can't ship me corn because it's illegal here. You're always going to have that. So there, you would have your inherent nationalism with
Yeah.
that. Is that because you don't know if you can ship it across country, so you stay within your borders and then you make it as good as you can for your customers, and you'll always limit your income potential because of that. But that is the nature of the business.
Yeah, I use organogram, guys. That so I have I've got a medical prescription for my PTSD.
Nope.
High CBD, average range THC. I boil this down. I make my own butter out of it, but I also have leaf just in case. But I mean CBD rich. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's in the Zoom on or not.
Yeah, that focus just doesn't want to come in, does it?
Yeah, the focus doesn't want to work on it. But I mean, like it's 10% CBD, 5.5 THC. This one's a little bit more CBD heavy, so this is one to help me sleep on days when I'm having an episode. This one's more THC heavy, so 13.5 THC, lower percent CBD, like 2.5% on that. So it's the Torbe. Um, but I'm a big fan of it, right? No, it's organogram. They grow their own. But Organogram, guys, doesn't really operate in the retail sector. They are principally a medical marijuana producer. Uh, yeah, yeah. Same thing in Canada. It's legal in Canada. Shadow trade. People can buy it. They don't. They don't go to the stores though.
I mean, like you said, the black market is still going to be cheaper because there's no regulations, no requirements, no costs that are related to that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when cannabis was legalized, sure, the prices on the black market were probably higher, but guess what? They had so much profit margin they can reduce their prices, and they can keep reducing.
No, but that was the problem. At no point did the government actually ever come close to competing with with the costs at the black market level. Now, my pot is free, so that's the only reason why I don't buy off the street, is because this is tax deductible. Because it's medicinal, it's tax deductible. So long as I buy from a registered medicinal provider, I can claim this on my tax at the end of the year. So my pot's free. You can't argue with free. But if I was somebody doing it recreationally, I'd just be selling. I'd be buying it off the street or growing it myself probably. And I do have seeds. Like I've got seeds that I'm waiting to grow into next season here. So I've got seeds for my own planting that I'm going to do. But yeah, I mean it's definitely going to be a. Have I heard of Aleafia Health? Apparently, a Canadian company focused on medical use. I haven't heard of them only because OGI for me is the number one medicinal supplier for Canada. So that's kind of where I'm at on that. I'm gonna grab some water here, guys. I'll be right back. I'm watching Enox here, and it's kind of floating this 62.85. Not a ton of volume. I think we see the volume pick up at big time as we head into 11:30 here.
I mean, asset minded, that's what you think would happen ultimately, right? But what ends up happening is because of the cost of doing business, the legal sides of it can never compete with what the black market will price. So whatever the street price is, they're going to be able to reduce that price. Even if the government or the legal institutions are able to come in at cost, the same of what the street price is, it'll still be cheaper for the black market. It's only this goes into the whole concept of if depending on your age, you'll remember this, Napster and streaming music or downloading music through news groups versus just paying the 99 cents. You still have people sometimes downloading music, even though they can stream it for free. It's a conundrum, but it's still a case, right? It's the ownership of it at a much cheaper cost instead of doing what's right. No, that is a fair point, Toxic. Competing with convenience for sure, right? Making it more convenient will subsidize that, but at the same point, with in certain states and leaving it up to the state, you're going to have the product lines disparate in that case sometimes.
American Airlines is doing quite well today. These leaps, guys, they are doing quite nicely for me. Gap is the only one not coming back, but these other ones, like I'm up almost 100% on that. On CCL. And American Airlines. Like this is I've got till 2022. This is nuts. Think I'm safe in free cell or fuel cell at 794. I think you got a better entry than I did, bud. I'm in on fuel cell at I got 792. I just beat you. I'm comfortable with that. I think it's about $10. Leap. That's right. You're a leap. Yeah, with medicinal, they mail it right to your house. I don't need to go anywhere for my pot. Like it comes to me, and then Trudeau pays for it. The personal relationship is one side of it. The tax added on to the already egregious price is another. Also, the weed's not great from the retail stores. I've tried some of it. It's not very good. This stuff is fantastic. I love the medicinal stuff, but this hits like a horse. They don't store it properly. I don't like the strains that they have. The knowledge of the staff is pathetic. It's really, really bad. Of like, okay, explain the high on this to me. Well, man, like if you smoke it, it depends on how much you smoke, but it'll kind of hit you like this. I think. Okay, well, what kind of strain is it? Are we talking a sativa? Is it an indica? What are we doing? Well, man, I don't really know. I have to check the book. Like, your ass, if you're working at a pot store and that's all you do, you should know that. You should know the effect of the different strains. The store should be organized in a way that that shit is visible. It is clear to people. Here is the section to get you that sweet body buzz. Here's that head high. Here is like, it's just, it's nutty to me. It's nutty to me. And that they don't really expand beyond the product, right? So they don't have all of the, when you look at the availability in these stores of bongs and paraphernalia like that, it's garbage. Gas stations have better paraphernalia than some of these. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. So there's a lot of missed opportunities, and that's because the people that created the rules and legislation around it aren't actual users. They aren't people that are a member of that industry. So it was like somebody who's familiar with, yeah, you got to know your occupation for sure. And the politicians that created these rules, maybe they smoked pot in college, but like beyond that, they didn't understand what they were doing. I'd like to see coffee houses. Edibles aren't legal here in Canada yet. I think there's a huge opportunity in edibles that needs to be approached that hasn't been. Yeah, yeah. And I mean, especially if you're gonna encourage people to use edibles, right? If you don't know about terpenes and you're telling people about the carboxylation, if you're telling them how to carboxylate it and you're not aware of what the terpenes are in it, you're gonna tell them to completely ruin an entire batch of pot. How pissed off do you think they're gonna be on that, right? It's nuts. I'm a huge fan of butter. It gives me a huge body buzz. For I off of one of these containers, I'll probably get 2.5 pounds of butter. And that 2.5 pounds of butter lasts me about 2.5 months, 3 months. Because all you need is a tablespoon, and that high lasts you for about 12.5 hours off of a tablespoon of butter, which is pretty solid. And I make my own butter at home. Like I've got my own recipe, I've got my own cook points. I do a nice slow roast on it. I prefer sativas, but I'll play in. I have played in both. I'll actually just mix it with whatever I'm making for dinner. So like we had chili last night. I'll just take like a tablespoon of the butter and I'll drop it in the chili, stir it up. If my wife made rice for dinner, same thing. Just grab it, put it on the rice, stir it up, eat it. If I'm having something that butter doesn't really go on, I can't really think of anything that butter doesn't go on. But if I'm having something that butter doesn't go on, then I would just make like a piece of toast or something and put it on there. I've put it in my coffee. Done a butter coffee, like whip the butter into the coffee and make a butter coffee out of it.
Here's a question for you, millennial in chat. Name a food that doesn't go with ranch or chocolate.
Ranch
or chocolate.
Banana.
Name a food that
I
doesn't
see.
go with
Both of
ranch
them.
or chocolate.
It either goes
No,
with chocolate
not
or
together.
ranch.
Correct.
Okay. Well, chocolate I'd put with pretty much anything because gingerbread. No, you could definitely put chocolate with gingerbread.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on how high I am, I might dip gingerbread in ranch. Lasagna. No, I could definitely put ranch on a lasagna. I could do a white lasagna with ranch as the sauce. Throw some bacon and sausage in there. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Gummy bears? You could definitely put chocolate on gummy bears.
I have made spaghetti sauce with cacao, depending on how far you get with chocolate. But I have made spaghetti sauce with cacao. So you do chili pepper and cacao in with a tomato base. So I can definitely do chocolate with spaghetti.
It's such a derailing topic. Sorry, but it's a mind bender. You'll sit there and think just constantly foods that wouldn't go good.
Kale is salad food, so I could do a ranch with
ranch.
kale.
That's easy. With
Black
kale.
beans and rice. Again, anything that is a bean dish, I can make a red sauce ranch. Using cacao, because the cacao balances out the yogurt. Absolutely. So chocolate yogurt Yeah, I'd do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like a Cincinnati chili. Lemon cheesecake with chocolate drizzle on top. I'd totally do that.
See what I mean? You can. It's one of those argument stances. You can argue almost every single food out.
I'm also a stoner, and I'd probably just eat it.
Sushi ranch.
Oh yeah, I dip sushi in ranch before. It is
I
stock
wouldn't do
trade.
it, but
I'm hungry too now. Actually, I might call KFC. I've got a craving for a spicy big crunch sandwich here.
ranch on that, by the way. I'm not saying ranch is good on sushi. They put mayo on sushi as norm, so mayo is not that far from ranch when you think of a condiment size.
I'd put
So
ranch on sushi before wasabi.
I'm sorry, you're all alone on that one.
I'm not a big wasabi guy. I'm not. It's not a texture that I enjoy.
Uh,
Um,
I don't like the taste of wasabi, and I am a heat nut. I will eat habaneros raw. It's not the heat that I don't like. I also don't like horseradish. It's something about the flavor profile. I don't like it.
if I had a salmon sushi roll, I could definitely like salmon and ranch. That's not that hard for me because I've had salmon steaks that I do with ranch. That wouldn't be a problem.
But you also can think of just like you were talking how you can talk about ranch seasoning.
Yeah.
So that goes with almost any meat. Yeah,
Uh,
just it's a
either.
question that I've been asked, and it's always I when I'm just sitting there not thinking of anything in the world, try to think of a new that doesn't go.
No, no, Jordan. No, Canada is very, and there's a lot of people that assume that that would happen. That Canada all of a sudden would embrace the hemp market to replace paper trades and insulation, and it hasn't happened because what people failed to realize was that one of the major commodities that we use in international trade is lumber, and people are not going to fuck with lumber. Um, Pikachu is the acknowledged mascot of the upcoming Olympic Games. I think the Olympic Games are in serious doubt. Did they push it 1 year or two?
One, they went from 2020 to 2021,
I don't see it. I don't see it happening. I don't
and
see
it's still
international travel recovering like that. I don't see it. I think it gets delayed another year, and then they push the summer ones back, or we just have Olympics all together on the same time. But yeah, no, I don't see it. I don't. If I was to play something on that, I would look at construction companies in Japan because there's going to be some massive construction that needs to happen in order to make that work. So that would be kind of what I would be looking at on
I
that.
mean, the construction's already done, millennial.
A lot of it, yeah. I'll give a lot of it's there, but I'm talking that they're going to have to build all kinds of new buildings in order to accommodate with appropriate capacity, right? So where you used to have 4 athletes in a room, you're not going to be able to do that anymore. It's going to be 1 athlete in a room, which means you're
Oh,
going
yeah,
to have to.
okay, I see what you're saying. It's you're gonna have accommodation issues due to social distancing protocols.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of territory in Japan to be building either. So any land ownership, land management kind of stuff would be good too. Okay, guys, Enox. I'm gonna move this to the big sheet. We're gonna keep watching it here. It is declining like a beast. Everyone internationally will not be vaccinated by January. No. Mm-mm. No way. No fucking way. Nope. That math, she don't add up. Mm. Um, So I had a friend who was at the Olympic level for the Winter Olympics. It's essentially as soon as you've done your competition, it just turns into a giant orgy in the Olympic Village. Everybody's banging everybody. So the swapping of bodily fluids is going to happen. um, Sharing antibodies. I'm not sure that's how that works. How champions are made, exactly. How to produce the next generation. Will DraftKings go to the moon because it's sports betting? No. Olympic betting is not a major source of income. Uh, you're better off looking to FIFA than the Olympics for betting. That was BC. That was British Columbia. Where am I at on Bitcoin? I'm in. Am I in Mara? I don't know. I'm in Mara right now currently. I did just play Mara. I'm not currently in Mara. Do I have Mara options? I do not. Thought I had Mara. Hmm. Oh, I've got that in. Yeah, okay. I've got that in another place. That's all. Uh, there's a churn and burn account that I work with Martini on that we hold Mara in. Just trying to order KFC here, so 2 seconds.
I think Steelman, it determines where you are in the country. Because you got Popeyes, you have churches, and you have KFC plus other mom and pop shops.
We don't have any of that crap here.
Yeah, I was going to say where you're at. I think you're lucky to have KFC, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We do not have any of that crap here.
Yeah, see, and it's like what burger place is the best. You're going to get polarizing opinions based off people's preferences of what chicken place is best. But I think there's a requirement in Texas apparently that if you're a chicken place, you must close on Sundays. No, 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 no. So no, that's blasphemy. If anybody says In and Out, I don't care who you are.
In and out for burgers, I don't mind. I always prefer to go local though. So whenever I visit a city when I'm doing a conference, one of the things I do two things before I talk at any conference. One, I go get a haircut. I get a haircut and I get shaved and cleaned up by like a professional. And then the other one that I do is I go find the local burger place. So not a franchise, but the local burger place that's recommended by the people who live there. Popeyes is in Ontario. It is. There are Popeyes in Ottawa, but I live in the middle of nowhere. Like I live in a tiny little country podunk kind of deal, so that's what's up with that. Yeah, when I'm in LA, I go to In and Out. I do because it's part of the LA experience for me. I go to In and Out.
It's like when you go to Texas, you have to have Whataburger.
Yeah, that it's exactly that. Or when you go to where was I? I was in Ohio and I went to QP. Right, you go get a QP burger.
Yeah, that's why I typed it Triton.
Five Guys. I mean, we have Five Guys here. We had Five Guys in Oregon. It honestly,
I'm not a big fan of it. We've got it
yeah,
here too.
it wasn't a big deal for me. I
We've
wasn't a
got so
huge
many
fan.
burger joints here. I mean, we have every main fast food one, and then you have Five Guys, you have Smash Burger, you have like Shake Shack. That's another one that does burgers that people like. We have In and Out, Whataburger. It's all over the place. But who was it that said that In and Out just doesn't exist? Oh, Kay said that. I feel that way about Chipotle. I don't acknowledge Chipotle. I've never stepped foot in one, and it's a fanboy thing with Freebirds for me because where I went to school, Freebirds is king. So I just don't go to I don't go to Chipotle whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, Chipotle. I've been to. We've got something called Mucho Burrito up here, which I prefer because they have their liquor license. So when I go in, I get my cerveza with my burrito. Um,
Look, see, I mentioned Freebird, and one person knows exactly what I'm talking about. Yes, I am an Aggie, and here come the jokes, and that's fine. But I am an Aggie.
no jokes, man. I'm a Ducks fan. Southern Oregon.
I did. Actually, speaking of, I got family up in Bend,
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
I don't have anything against Oregon. I like Oregon. I love what they've done when I think of it as a marketing ploy, what they did when they partnered with Nike.
Yeah. It was really
And
smart.
allowing Nike to have full control of what their uniforms look like.
They had
It was
15 uniforms one season. 15.
That's my point. It is a Nike advertising platform for them. It's great by Nike, and it was great by Oregon because before that, the ploy to get kids to go play at Oregon was minimal. Now you're like, hey, you get all this Nike swag, and guess what? Almost every game you get a new uniform, which clientele or kids of that age, that is something that they go play for too. Uniforms do matter. I mean, people don't go play for the Cleveland Browns because they're uniforms.
Okay, so the best burger I've ever had in Montreal is Notre Boeuf de Grasse. Okay, if you've never been there, Steelman, give it a shot. Its burger is I don't know if I here I'll try to pull up the. I want to see that picture. I want as big as I can possibly get it. Like, oh, that's lame. I'm doing this the wrong way. I've got a computer right here. That's stupid.
That was very boomer of you. I'm just gonna say.
Like that's what I'm talking about. And then where I am, about 45 minutes from here, we've got the Burger Bar or the Burger Bistro. And this one I like to go to because this Truffles Burger Bar has an exotic menu. Okay, so if you go to, let's go here, menu. They've got a, where is their, yeah, here they are. Okay, so you get your typical burgers that you would normally see, right? But so I mean, this is just like regular burger, like beef, 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 elk burger. Okay, that's a little bit fancy. Boar burger, delicious, by the way. Bison burger, tasty. Now we get to get exotic. You've got the kangaroo burger. They used to have an alligator burger. I'm not seeing it here. It might be tough to get alligator right now with national delivery, but they used to have a snake burger, a kangaroo burger, an alligator burger, a boar burger, and an elk burger, and a bison burger. And so you get all of these different ones, right? New video. Expert radiologists endorse Enox. Should I be concerned? Everything that he said, did you see this? Do you see this thing that's popping up? The caveat they put on here is none of this shit actually works yet. It's not approved. It doesn't work yet. These are all just. Hold on, I'll go back and see if I can find it.
And in particular,
nope. I don't want to hear you talk. I can't see it. There was an advisory that popped up in this corner saying, "Be aware that none of this should actually make sense. It's a concept. So conceptually it works, but until we actually see it work, it doesn't work." There. Nanox ARC is a concept device not approved by regulatory parties. Yeah, Toxic reached out to his dad who used to do repairs on X-ray equipment, and theoretically it is possible, but until they actually build it. Yeah, I wouldn't be concerned by that. That's not enough. That is not enough for me that video just dropped.
Holy crap. Paycom today. Jeez. It's not a massive gain. It's just a massive position for me.
Okay, where are we at here? We are at 6150, and this thing drops in the next couple of minutes. So let's see what we see here. I have looked at T2 before, but I've never. Guys, it got me so hungry right now. I'm gonna hand you guys over to a martini around noon, so I can go get my fucking lunch.
Is she streaming at noon today?
Yeah, she's gonna stream at noon. I've looked at this before, guys. Yeah, I mean, I like SHG better, Steel Man. I like SHG better. Yeah, I think that's a smart play. I think that's the smart play on this for sure. No live results anywhere. Is there a spot where you can view my portfolio? Yep. You can view it there. I update it regularly. As I make my trades, I enter and exit the information on that. You will note, guys, when you go over here, you're going to see public profile. You're going to see that this was started in May, okay? So I entered every single trade I took from January to May on one day. And that resulted in a massive loss where I was in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. This is not indicative of everything that I'd done up to that point in the year. I had started with 2,200 US in January. By May, I had it up to probably about 10, 12,000 US. And then from there, it's just been consistent growth. Currently, the managed funds in the portfolio total book cost is about 38,000 on it. The market value is about 36,000 US on it. So that's kind of where we are from 2,200 US all the way up to 36 grand so far this year. We'll see how we finish, but yeah, the problem that they have with this is, and it's great that they make these articles and these headlines. My issue with this is, yeah, that's all this year, PK, from 2,200 to 30 plus thousand right now. 38,000 in value, but or in book value, but that's not actualized, right? So until I exit those positions, it doesn't count. But yeah, this doesn't mean squat because these guys, none of these guys manage their own portfolio. Nobody manages their own portfolio. They hand it off to someone else so that they have that distance, so that they can just go, wasn't me, I didn't do it. All right, we're down to 60 bucks here. Maybe Twitter's got something on this. You can talk to your broker. That's not illegal. There's nothing illegal about talking to your broker.
I mean, ultimately, that's a broker's opinion.
Yeah.
Every broker, every manager is going to have their opinion.
Yeah, it's not a. Believe me, if he's playing that game, he's walked through it with a lawyer. I promise you. He did not do that unless he is aware that he is abiding by the law, because he knows that there's people with scrutiny on it. He knows. He knows. Okay, there's a link here. What's this? Oh, here it is. This is a live presentation.
We're streaming live, actually. You see here Bloomberg. We're streaming live from the heart of Israel. And as you can see, there are many people behind me, all working tediously in order to realize this vision. But this is not a local story. Actually, for years now, we've been collaborating with our teams in Japan, South Korea, Hello and welcome to Nanox. Welcome to the RSNA 2020 and accessibility to medical imaging. Together with me, I'm very happy to have two radiologists, certified radiologists from the US that join us today to guide us through the images.
We're watching Nanox, yeah.
Joining us, Dr. Hughes, Dr. Shabshin. You will take us through the images. Again, thank you for coming, and maybe a word of introduction.
I'm a musculoskeletal academic radiologist for the past 20 years and even more. And I'm working in Israel at Clalit Healthcare Services and in the US at Penn Medicine, Philadelphia. I've been working with startup companies for the past 18 years.
And I'm Dr. Michael Hughes. I'm so pleased to be here. I'm a board certified radiologist, practiced for over 15 years. I'm a CEO of USRAD Holdings, company which is backed by Siemens Healthineers and other venture capital firms. And I'm also on the advisory board of Nanox. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you guys for joining us. And our radiologists will join me later to actually analyze those images. And let's start the magic. So the magic actually happened here. This is our demo room. We're going to go in and outside later on. What you can see here is amazing two devices that are based on nano technology. We're going to demonstrate the way they work. We're going to show you the functionality and the freedom with these two machines. But before that, I want to talk about technology. I'm a technologist. I want to tell you about the technology of Nanox that enables all of that. So you know, Nanox was originated technology in Japan, and we've been working for years and years to perfect something that actually William Röntgen did many years ago, over 100 years ago. William Röntgen created a mechanism to stream electrons into an X-ray, and this is RSNA, so many radiologists, you know that in order to create X-ray, you need a stream of electrons. So
Chem Life, I don't blame you, man.
He's taking a filament, taking it over 1,000 degrees C, and then there is a cloud of electrons ready to move into the anode. Well, it's very workable, but a lot of challenges. What we've been focusing in the last 8 years is actually create a true alternative to William Röntgen X-ray source, one that is digital and one that can work in room temperature. And what I'm going to show you here is the basis of this revolution. Namely, it's nanotechnology implemented on a semiconductor for the first time ever, and we call it a chip. So what I'm holding here may look to you small, but this is a significant invention. This is a MEMS chip with nanotechnology that creates a stream of electron that is controlled digitally.
Down to 56.
If you look, you can see hundreds and hundreds of millions of little electron gun that can emit one electron at a time. And that's very important because if you can control the stream of electron and you can independently control the MA and KV, you can actually create that. And this is Nanox X-ray tube. This is the core technology that we have. This is the first ever nanotechnology.
If this goes down to 15, I'm going to have a very good day today.
That can play with MA, KV independency. And it's very
Holy
low cost,
shit.
so much low cost.
It's down to 52. It's going to get halted.
Our vision to propel the universe with those light bulbs that can actually give very good images, as you'll see in a minute.
Wah, wah.
You need to understand that what we have here is a traditional, typical X-ray thermionic source.
I
so
think no, still not halted. Wow.
Rotating anode.
Holy hell.
Engine, and we put all of this in a basin of oil, and that's entail a lot of limitations. So that's basically the technology that we've developed. Again, deep technology. I like to call it deep because it's over a decade of development, and it all comes down to this. And this we can make in mass production in very, very low cost. Now, the next question you ask me, okay, we got it, but can you get X-ray? And you know what? I want to try it. I want to see if this little...
Here we go. This is it.
...weight of an apple tube can generate an X-ray. So please follow me, and we'll take you through
this is it.
2D X-ray
this is the money.
modality and see if we can take a phantom of a wrist there. So we're going now, and we see our radiologist. This is our control room. We'll get there in a minute, but we're going through this.
He's got Bloomberg up. He's got Bloomberg up.
X-ray machine. Well, what you see here is a 2D modality of X-ray. It's very typical.
Bit of a recovery on it.
Hospital. The only big difference is that this is Nanox, which means that this head here has this tube inside. And what I want to confirm or establish with you before we move on is that we can actually take this phantom This is a phantom of a wrist. We can place it on the detector, and we can actually take an image that is an X-ray image. You know what? I have a better idea. I feel like making history. I'm so happy that so many people came to join us today, and I want to refer to 1895. This is a
Oh
time
my
that
gosh.
William Röntgen took an
Hit the
image of his
button,
wife.
take the
It's very
picture, or
iconic
don't.
for X-ray. And what I want to do now, with your permission, I want to put an
How could he
earphone
do that?
on
It's a
and
conceptual
actually
device.
take an image of my hand. So I need the help from one of my team. Gilly, can you help me with the apron, please? And you know what? Let's take away this phantom. We don't need it. We'll take my hand. So now I'm going to put this apron that is supposed to protect me from the radiation. Oops.
So the one big issue that I have already is that he's made the claim that that's his technology in there.
Protected. I will sit and I will try.
I have no assurance that he's got his tech in there.
Take an image of my hand.
He's going to take an X-ray image with a ring on.
Button, Gilly. Okay, we're done.
Oh, if it doesn't have that ring in that X-ray.
Now we took an X-ray image of my hand. I don't know how it's going to come out. This is a true real-life demo, so I have no idea if it even took.
He just took an X-ray with a ring on.
And now I'm going to go out, and my team is going to help me to get out these 25 kilos of apron. Thank you very much. As you can see, I'm keep holding this technology. This is very precious technology. So what is happening now from the X-ray room, the images are being uploaded to our system. It's taking a bit of a time. And when it comes up, I will simply ask our audiologist to confirm very
Bracelet on his wrist,
I will ask them if they
ring
get
on
the
his
image,
hand.
and
If those
this
things
image
aren't on
is
that X-ray,
compared to other analog image. So it will take a bit of time. In the meantime, actually you can watch beyond this glass, and you can see this beautiful machine. And here I see that actually I see my hand. As you can see, my wrist is very noticeable. And as you can see, I'm still married. Okay, 28 years yesterday. So I'm still keeping this the wedding ring. And I will hand it to you, radiologist, just to tell me if what you see
First
is
of all,
acceptable.
Congratulations on the 25-year anniversary.
You forgot to take your bracelet off.
Nice jewelry.
Oh, my
Okay,
bracelet is
so
on.
actually this is a great quality. We see the joints, the cortex, the bony trabecula, small details. Yeah, it's at least as good as the ones I'm used to seeing in my daily practice. Some skin folds and fat planes. I can play with
No,
the
I
window.
couldn't tell the difference from can you window a little bit?
Sure.
I couldn't tell the difference from analog technology. This is quite impressive.
We can even see the button of your jacket. Okay.
Good contrast between bony and soft tissues, for sure. I like
Okay, anything to say about the KVMA that you want to tell me?
Yeah, this was done. I just want to confirm that it was done, as we spoke before, with KVP of 40
Yeah.
and mass of 1.5, right?
And typically, the X-rays are done at KVP of 50 to 60 and MA of about 3 to 5. 3 to 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Completely recovered from the dip.
Dr. Hughes, Dr. Shapchin. This was for me a confirmation because we talked to you about nanotechnology. We showed the modality, and then we wanted to confirm that we can actually generate a very simple 2D X-ray. Now I want to step up the game a notch, and I ask you to follow me into the magic room, the demo room where we have Nanox 2 system in. I want to explain what we did
you love
here,
my technical
and I want you guys to
commentary. I know
be
that's what you look
as
for.
impressed as I
It's
am,
crucial right
because
now,
what we
Martini.
did here is very unique. So conceivably,
Virgin,
we
thanks
have
for the follow,
two,
man. Much appreciated.
machine here. They look like imaging machine, very elegant. I like the design. But there are two fundamental differences. One, this is the first machine in the world that actually works with Nanox tube. So this machine works with Nanox tube. And second, not like any other system that provides full body scanning, this one have multi-source, which means we took separate tubes and we placed here 6 number of tubes.
So part of the issue that he faces here is if he doesn't lie down on that table, because he set that precedent with the initial one, right? Look, it works. I'll put my own hand in. Great.
Swing the
Lie down on the table.
under this gantry. We can swing the gantry and we have the freedom to take separate images, projection in different KVP, different angles, put it all together into one very comprehensive file, and that's really what we believe to become a very new breed of medical imaging that, with the fact that it's so low cost, it will provide huge value. Now, for your information, these are prototypes, but subject to regulatory approval, we're going to produce these babies in thousands. And during 2021, you'll see many of those going around the world, all connected to the cloud, provide real value. Without me getting too excited, let me actually show you this in action. So what you have here for you on this bed, we have a wrist, we have a phantom of a chest, and actually we have a bone of a lamb that we took from the butchery. And what we want to do now, I will leave the room because of the radiation, and I will ask my team to start a scan. And I want you to see the scan, how we're going about this scanning. So please follow me again. And I'm sitting now next to our radiologist. And what is happening, Gilad, can you hit the button? I want to show you now what is happening. So this system is now moving the targets across, and different projection images
Accelerator
are being taken.
NDR, thanks for the follow, man. Much
You
appreciated.
see that each images are actually uploaded through our system into the software here. But for now, what you see is that the image is scanning, and you can hear the noise, scanning different projections. By the way, different body part calls from different recipes. So we optimize, we call it the Nanox
That's a different
which is a
hand.
unique recipe, and you can see as we speak, the images coming up here. So we take many, many images. Remember, we have many tubes, many angles, many KVPs, and to provide a perfect image, we're combining all of them together, and in a minute, those images will start to upload, and there again, we have the wrist, and remember, we took 2D image of my hand. Now we have something different of a hand. We took the chest, and we took a bone from the butchery, actually. So I'll be very, very interested to ask you, Dr. Shabchin and Dr. Hughes, why do you think that this type of modalities provide freedom? What do you expect to see? What are the challenges? And what will surprise you to see when the outcome will come?
Ran, on the regular 2D images, we have this challenge very frequently of overlapping biomass. And in the 3D tomosynthesis imaging, we are able to
Ooh, look at that image.
problem.
Ooh.
I want to demonstrate you some images.
Bwomp, 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 bwomp.
Actually,
Bye.
the images came. So for the audience to understand, we took images inside, upload many of them there. Our software combine it into something that our radiologists are going to review now and explain. So I will step back and get the professional to explain to me and to the audience what's going on.
Okay, so this is a 2D study that was performed yesterday, as you can see the date here. And Michael, do you see, what do you think about the joints?
I think it looks normal. It's a
see,
phantom, but I don't see any
phantom?
abnormalities.
Do you see anything that is suspicious for a fracture, a bone lesion,
I don't.
erosions? And
I
if you
don't.
look carefully at this area here, also the audience, anyone that
That's
is watching
from-
us?
That's from yesterday,
move
so
on
you
to
see
the
the date on
terminal.
it, 2/12. So look at what's
here,
coming out of this
look at
terminal.
the great anatomic resolution.
I like it.
Obviously, that is missing in the 2D. Here, we're at the volar axis. Sorry, these are the live reconstructions coming from the chest. So let's go back to here, to ours. So this is the PC form. This is in the volar aspect of the hand, and we see it very sharp, but the rest of the hand is really obscured. And as we move back, we see the hook of the hamate. This is an area that is prone for occult fractures. It's much harder to see on these 2Ds. And as we move on...
Wow, look at this resolution. Okay.
Yeah, and as we move on, I'll play with the window. Can you see anything now? Would you change your report?
Can I look at something? Look at this area here in carpal bones. It almost looks like erosions. What do you think, Noga?
I think so too.
And you don't see it, don't you?
I would suspect that these are erosions, and I don't see these at all in this area. And
Yeah,
I
it's a
think
layered composite of
maybe
6 or 7
stable,
images,
maybe
guys. So it's not a
there's-
single
maybe
image.
are loose and
What
see
they've
like
done is they've taken multiple photos as it passes
last
over,
thing is
and then they've overlapped those
maybe
photos
some
together. So
subtle
as you see them scanning,
calcifications or
it's
sclerotic
adjusting the
lesions here on
opacity of the
bone,
layers
maybe
so that you get the best
Look how
image
much
possible
nicer
from that
you can see them
that stacking.
with
This
the
phantom
tomo
was
here.
a little bit abused.
Maybe. Okay, let's move on to the next case. So our next case is going to be the wrist. Okay, so it's just.
I don't know yet. I'm not sold on this.
This is a chest radiograph that was done at a hospital yesterday. It was done on a regular.
The quality of that image is not fantastic.
Yeah, and this is the tomo. Okay, let's look at the tomo for a quick second. And
Could you scroll the whole thing?
yeah,
I'd
we'll
like
scroll.
to see
Yeah.
the whole images.
As you can see, now we are anterior.
Whole study.
So we can see the sternum very well. There's no way to see the sternum here. The joints, the manubriosternal joint. And even, if I go even more anterior, there's this sternal foramen that's like a normal variant. Look how beautiful you can see it.
I see some there already, but we'll come back to that.
And the trabecular of the ribs. And as we move back.
Yeah, that's how this technology is supposed to work. It's not supposed to be a camera. It doesn't.
Beautiful shape.
That's why you're in the machine for so long, because it's taking all kinds of images and then it compiles those as a single image, right?
The vertebra very sharp. The spine is very sharp. And what did you want to show in this case?
Well, I would like to ask the audience if they see anything abnormal on a 2D analog X-ray. There's a few things that stand out.
So maybe there are several possible nodules. We see this round lesion here and other ones down here. These could be vessels or lung lesions. Maybe there's a subtle nodule here.
No, I don't think it's excessive radiation. I think it's the same as what you're getting elsewhere.
So now let's move from back to front. Slowly. So this large so-called nodule is actually a blood vessel. And this one.
The clarity on those blood vessels is much better than the 2D. I will give them that.
And here's this lesion. That's the maybe possibly lesion
I agree.
that I mentioned here. It's a true lesion.
This looks real.
And if we look on the other side, there are two additional lesions.
Wow, look at the size of this.
The
They must be at least 7, 8 millimeters, and
They're
you don't
pretty
see
big.
them on. That's impressive.
No, not even retrospectively. And I want to
Wait,
ask you if
I
you see
saw
more
something
lesions.
else. I saw something else, Noga. Hold on, let me see if it's real or not. Oh, here it is. Did you see this? This is real. This must be a 4 to 5 millimeter nodule right there. And no way, this is smaller than the vessels, and there's no way you're going to see it on chest X-ray.
It doesn't.
Any of these nodules could be cancers.
And we know
This needed to be a live patient. This needed to be an actual person. And you needed to have an X-ray of the actual person and then
I'd like to be a resident.
have them hop into the machine that is the Nanox machine right next to it. And just immediately move them from one to the
Here
other.
it is.
Okay.
Here's this lesion, and it's obscured by the heart.
Okay, so I think we can move on to the next case.
So in this case, of course, there are multiple potential nodules that were not nodules, and the nodules.
So this one's big because this is live flesh, right? This is an actual animal.
Live, so
This looks like a turkey leg.
No, this is
We just
not
had
a
Thanksgiving.
turkey.
Remember, guys, this doctor on the left, he works in the financial sector. He works with he works with an investment firm. So he's a doctor. He has his PhD, but he works in the investment firm.
And we made some cuts into it to simulate fractures. So this is
I have
the
to stay
lateral.
away from you, Noga.
I mean, that's another big thing here is there's no date or timestamp on these images. So could these be images that they took elsewhere at a different time? Yes.
2D. This one that was just done now. Can you see some fractures? Obviously, this is
I
a
do.
complete fracture because
You
we
have to be
played with
blind
it too much.
to miss this one.
And then there's another fracture here, which
They are separated on the table.
Do you see any other fractures?
I don't. I only see that obvious one and
Well,
little
I mean, how can
fracture
you
above
be
that, but that's it.
So
Do you see anything in this area?
I don't. I see some growth plate
That's here.
below. Yes.
Yeah. So let's now start scrolling through the top.
What was that, Martini?
I said, but you're being not mean.
I'm being mean. Fuck
It
it.
was so nice. It was a Freudian slip.
Yeah. So what's interesting, guys, on this, and we'll go back and look at this, but note the date on this one, on this lamb shank, is 1/12. This is from 2/12. This is from 2/12. So just after midnight on December 2nd, they took that hand. This is 15 hours later on December 2nd. They took an image of this torso. This is the 2D on this side, right? This one here, when they zoom in, this was taken a day earlier, December 1st, just before midnight. So they took 3 different images for these samples on the right. Whereas the ones that we're seeing are from a single scan.
Positive.
There is no timestamps on the left.
Ended up being blood vessels, and we
of nanox that enables all of
Ah,
so you know,
hit one.
in the 2D.
Imagine how many lives we can save with this technology, just from lung cancer. This is one example. I'm speechless. This is really, really exciting, and what difference we can make on the planet.
And lastly,
I mean, the whole time they keep throwing it's conceptual, education purposes
on
only.
the lateral radiographs, we can still see it on the lateral tomo, and we could see a lot more information, get a lot more information about the growth plate than on the 2D.
That's the the concept of overlapping biomass. This is the perfect example.
That there is no date and timestamp is a big issue.
Thank you so much for being here today. For me as an entrepreneur, I must tell you I'm so excited, and I'll explain why. I mean, we've been working on technology, and my vision and my passion is to connect technology to the mass. And today, what we've seen so far is actually, we explained technology and we talked about nano and whatever, but when you actually speak to physicians and you see your comment about what we can see and what not, in this technology, it really makes me very excited and very hopeful, because I know that as a CEO of Nanox, I can place many of those around the globe and provide many, many of those images in that quality. And before we move on, I just want to ask you, Michael, do you have any other modalities that you have in mind that you want to share with the audience?
Absolutely.
Because, you know, this technology is quite flexible, so maybe...
I will be pleased.
Maybe you want to come here and...
Thank you so much.
I will stand next to you, because I think our audience will be quite amazed by what you have in your imagination when you see this technology.
First of all, I would like to mention that I've spent a week at this facility working with Ran and many engineers. I've seen probably thousands of images by now. Not only I'm convinced, but there's something that we came across by discussing with engineers, something that I had to share with everybody. The Nanox uniqueness is being multi-source technology, which means that you could have 2D, 3D, fluoroscopy, and even axial imaging all in one device. This is a still work in progress. This is a phantom simulations, noise-free data, preliminary results. We used 11 sources with axial, sagittal, and volumetric reconstruction, and we achieved 1 millimeter voxel resolution. You could judge for yourself. To summarize, this is exciting. And I'm very emotional because I can imagine what this technology can be done to people throughout the world. In one machine, you can have multiple modalities. And I'm going to stop here.
Thank you very much, Dr. Yul, Dr. Shabshin. And with that, I think there is no better way to go back into where the magic is and to summarize the day. So please follow me again into our demo room, where we have the 2 machines of Nanox waiting to be operated and propelled around the globe. So again, just I want the camera to see this beautiful machine again. Remember, this is a core technology. This is what we've invented. And today, we actually connected the dot between the technology and an actual radiologist looking at an image and attach value to that. And that's really important to us. And with that, I just want to mention that it is the technologies that enable us to create a very low cost, very accessible, very available medical imaging system that in one machine can do so many modalities. And that's only the beginning, because if you go back to what Michael just talked about, you need a stream of electrons. He's doing it, scientist. They will do so much with it, and we think that this is the next era of this technology, but moreover, we are here and our vision, and I mean, this is our invention, but our vision, remember, is actually to create accessibility and availability to medical imaging around the world, and I think today we established that we are way in the way to go there. Thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you for everybody participating. Thank you, Michael and Noga, and Hope will join us in this journey. Thank you.
Okay. Give this guy a thumbs up and a sub. Thank you for being live, so I didn't have to pay for that. Okay. Thoughts. My thoughts are... when you're doing a scientific proof, you want to try to be as similar as possible, right? You don't want to try to cause too many variations on things. That on the right, we were looking at 2D. It's just the way that it is. That's what it does. That's the way that machine works. Fine. That it had 3 different date timestamps over a 24-hour period to get the images that they wanted that were not as clear or as resolute as they want. That's a bit of an issue for me. That they didn't have date time on it. That's a bit of an issue for me.
Rest in peace, anybody in those options. The IVs just dropping.
Yeah, that it doesn't feel to me like that was... Yeah, I mean, it fell to 52. Like, this is not...
I didn't see anything that was conclusively that says any of this was real.
My big concern here is, if I'm watching a medical environment, what do I want to see, right? I want to see a medical environment. I want to see academics. I want to see chalkboards. I want to see whiteboards. I want to see diagrams and drawings. I want to see tech specs. I want to see that kind of crap, right? They had a Bloomberg monitor up. They had a guy from
had it on not only on the big screen. If you go back to the video, on one of the low monitors that the scientist was looking at, had Bloomberg screen up too. I could try to go back and find it, but I saw the same thing on the big screen as I did on one of the smaller monitors.
So, I mean, they're watching Bloomberg. One of the 2 doctors that they were able to find to be there for this was an investment representative. He wasn't a physician. The other lady who was there is a physician. I missed a bunch of follows there. Porto Caprililios. I definitely butchered that. Thanks for the follow. And Jabo Jangles, thanks for the follow. If you guys let me know how you found the stream, I would greatly appreciate that. Overall, guys, I am underwhelmed. I'm not impressed by what I just saw. I'm not impressed. Is the live stream still watchable? I don't know. I closed it. No, unavailable. Unavailable. They immediately made the video private. From unlisted to private immediately. Like that. Also not a good sign. Okay, let's see what Muddy Waters has to say. Nothing from Muddy Waters. Okay, Citron.
I mean, technically, you have your VOD, right?
Yeah, I guess I do have my VOD. You guys can go back and watch it. I guess the VOD is available for you guys to check out. It will be over on YouTube, so you guys can head over to my YouTube channel and just watch that segment. Head over to the YouTube channel there afterwards if you want to watch it. It will be on my video.
I gotta take a work call. I'll be back millennial.
All right. So nobody is commenting publicly yet on this. I'm gonna watch this for a minute or two here. Martini's just about ready though, guys. She's gonna run with you the rest of the day here. I'm gonna head out and get me that delicious spicy big crunch sandwich that I've been eyeing up for the last hour. Okay, so there's some bullish sentiment here. Looked real, but so did the truck rolling down the hill. That's fair. Yeah, guys. I remain skeptical. I remain skeptical. I did not see anything that confirmed the claims that this is going to be what it's going to be. I think it definitely needs to have a of course they will for the right price, Snowflake. That makes sense. Nice. They're monthlies. They're December monthlies. So I've got till the 18th. So I've got a few days for this to do what it's going to do one way or the other. Martini, are you there?
I am now.
You live?
No, I'm about to.
Okay, cool.
Pulling up my thingy. My thingy. What have you concluded on Enox?
My conclusion was I am not convinced. The lack of a date timestamp and the fact that the other three X-rays that they compared it to were had varying date timestamps over 24 hours means that they went through a whole bunch of photos and picked the ones that suited their needs, which is never a good sign. They also didn't run those the same day, right? So those were not run today. So they didn't do these 2D scans on the same day as their own samples. I'll give them that the hand was a very clever marketing play for sure. Where he put his actual hand under it, but when it came to the full body X-ray, he didn't hop on the table. Which doesn't really like that. That's what you need to do. He should have just hopped on the table. He should have just like cleared all that shit off and been like, "I'm going in, boys." That he didn't hop on the table, it's a red flag for me. That there was no date time stamp on the images they took today, that's a red flag for me. That the three photos that they had to do by comparison were not immediately back to back. So it's not like they did the same thing where they ran a machine over all three and they just took the photo from all three of those. Instead, what they did was they took one photo from just before midnight, and then they took another one, 15, 20, 35 minutes later, and then they took another one 15 hours later. All of those are a big issue for me. There's a lot of that doesn't quite make sense. Side-by-side real-time comparison would have been the best way to go, in my opinion. So I'm still bearish on it. I don't like what I saw. The fact that they had Bloomberg terminals up inside their medical offices is a big fucking red flag for me. That of the two people that they had there, both had their PhDs, but one of them works with Simons as an investment analyst. So he was there from the money perspective, which kind of demeaned it for me. I'd rather have had a panel of 8 radiologists than one radiologist, one financial analyst in the biosector, and a Bloomberg terminal up on the wall. Yeah, there was just an awful lot that I didn't like. Which, I mean, that's my opinion. You guys can go back on YouTube and watch the replay. I was underwhelmed. I think they had an opportunity here with the whole world watching to knock this out of the park, and they failed.
Interesting.
Very
interesting.
There's also the whole Nikola thing, right? Where people are extremely skeptical about what you show them these days. Is this a truck in motion? I think that what they did here leaves a lot of skepticism in the ability for people to make that claim. Citron, Muddy Waters, whoever else, Hindenburg, that want to make the claim that this is just another example of in motion. That there's nothing that we saw here that indicates that was actually that machine producing those images. We have no indication that other than that man's word, that was his technology inside that X-ray machine. Like, it's just it.
Yeah, it's kind of bizarre, to be honest.
Like, you want to prove to me that that's your tech in there? Fine, show me your tech, and then open up the machine and show me the tech.
Very bizarre. Very bizarre.
Trump says he'll support a deal if Congress gets one done. Yeah, that's easy for him to say because Congress isn't going to get one done. Mitch McConnell has marching orders not to approve anything out of the House.
So typically what I see with this kind of stuff is like, it takes it's going to take like a true, like Big Short moment for it all to stop. Right. And it's still happening. Like, because what do people come in here and tell us is, well, it did go up, so, it could come back later, or, could have made gains on that. Like, they don't really understand yet that it happens when you're dealing with a lot of people who haven't seen this stuff go down multiple times. And I'm telling you, there's going to be a moment when it just collectively hits, and you'll see.
Do you have Baba in your long-term portfolio, Martini?
No.
This buy the dip shit is just nonsense on this.
On what?
Baba. It dropped down to 262. Shep MD, thanks for the follow, man. Much appreciated. If you are an MD, Shep, I would love to hear your thoughts on what we just saw out of that. I'd love to get some actual MD, PhD radiologists to give me their insights on what they just saw. I will be looking for that throughout the day on social after I get my spicy big crunch sandwich, which I will do as soon as I send you over to Martini. But Baba at 262 is a sale.
I just wanted to talk about the plan since you always end up showing up in the afternoon, by the way. I kind of wanted to go through how to develop a trading strategy.
Ooh.
I kind of either want to resurrect the shorting, or since now stuff's a little less bubbly, or go through. I kind of looked at this swaggy stocks people, and they have like a hype indicator where it says it's gaining hype or losing hype. And I just thought it might be fun to try and build one based on that. I can't go back in and say what the historical of that indicator was, I guess. So I can't really like it. We would have to do it over multiple days.
Yeah. I'm a bigger fan of the second one than the short. Just because I'm still not seeing what I would like to see. Like this scanner, guys, just to be clear, this scanner on the daily used to have 4 or 5 that were 300, 250, 400% gainers. Like that's what we used to see daily on this shit. And it's just not there anymore. Now, do I like the hype runs to the other side where I can evaluate volume and trends and use stock twits as an indicator of what people are talking about, check the ticker, see the movement, and make a play off of that? Sure. Like this low float stock, right? Average volume 122. Average volume 73,000, 20 million on it today. Nesco Holdings. Like building a strategy around abnormal volume, I'm a big fan of that concept. But I just need Baba to come back to normalcy before end of year. I don't know about end of year, but I think Q4 earnings, February, for sure. That's why I took my Baba. What did I get Baba for? I've got Baba 325s for February.
So you do want to do that?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna get lunch and then I'll come back and then I'm down
go
with
get your shit. I will start up and copy that Excel sheet over and start to build it.
Okay, cool.
As part of my how to start a trading strategy, because I'm seeing a lot of people trading and I don't think that I can not have it in my stream because I'm seeing a lot of shit that's just going to get you in trouble, and I know it. Like, you know what I mean?
E-commerce through Q4. Yeah, I know what you mean. Mikim, Jamia and Ozon e-commerce stocks. E-commerce through Q4 is strong. We're seeing record numbers on digital sales, online sales. If they're an e-commerce online platform for sales, they're probably going to do pretty well. That's my opinion, though. Guys, I am all in on heading over to Martini's. If you're not following me, do that. Otherwise, head on over to Martini's and follow hers. We're going to rate her here in a second. If you haven't checked out the second episode of Slap That Ass, it is live. We break down SPACs and IPOs. But I'm sending you over to Martini as soon as Twitch allows me to do so here.
You got to give it a second. It's always
a pain in my dick. There's a Martinu Rita.
No way.
Yeah. Martin Urita.
Oh my god. Okay. Imposter.
We have an imposter,
Jackass.
We've got Martini Ninja. We've got Martini Wee. We've got Martinissimo. Later, guys. Make sure that you're following. All you guys that are subs, you're genius. I love you guys. You make it all worthwhile. You pay for my spicy big crunch sandwiches, and I appreciate you for it. Mikan98, thanks for the follow, man. Much appreciated.
It might be there now. Try.
Mikan98, thanks for the follow, man. Much appreciated.
It might be there now. Try.
Mikan98, thanks for the follow, man. Much
yeah, it might be there.
It was learning day. We learned a lot. We did some live stuff. We did some thing and spiel. If it feels like I'm just trying to drag this out, it's because I am just dragging this out. I have nothing else to offer you until I can just raid Martini. I wish there was just a raid.
It says mobile dashboard up. No? Fucking dog shit. Dog shit.
Anybody know how I do that? Anybody know how I offer my sweet voice? Raid. Oh, I can do it. What's your channel name? The Martini Reader or just Martini Rita?
Martini Reader. Ajax is first. Look at him.
Yeah, it worked. Okay. I can just use the raid command. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, what did you use before?
There's a button that says raid channel that you can pick from. Anyway, off we go. Over to Martini.
What a big bitch.